Hi, and welcome back to lesson number 3. My name is Michael Geddes. Now that you have a guitar that you feel comfortable with, that fits you well, and you know what style of sitting posture you're going to be sitting in, whether it's going to be the classical style or the folk style, now I can move you ahead and show you today how to single strum, double strum, and to single pick. This lesson is very important, and you may think at the end of it that it's pretty elementary and you're ready to move on to lesson number 4, and I would advise against that. I would take time with this lesson I'm going to show you today and spend a few days to let it assimilate and go through the exercise I'm going to show you and allow your right hand to come to a better understanding of what its job is. You're also going to have the inclination of trying to put both hands together. I would advise against that as well. Wait for about 2 more lessons and we'll start doing that. So what I'm trying to do here is to give the right hand a great understanding of its job and to get strengthened in that job. Next week I'll show you the job of the left hand, and then I'll give you exercises to begin strengthening the left hand as well. And then the lesson after that, we'll start putting both hands together and playing music with both hands. So in the next few clips, I'm going to show you how to single strum, double strum, and to single pick. I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer so you can carefully watch what I'm doing with my right hand in my single strumming, double strumming, and my single picking demonstration. So what you want to do is to place your fingers lightly over the string so you don't get this sound when you're practicing that. You don't want to drive your household crazy. So hold your fingers lightly just to mute the strings while you're working on this exercise. And you want to hold the pick between your index finger and your thumb, and you want about a ½ inch coming out that's going to hit the strings here, the point of the pick. And I find like a ½ inch it gives me the control I need. If I hold it, if there's too much pick out, I lose control. So I want to find the fulcrum or that sweet spot that gives me the most control. You want to don't hold on to the pick too tightly. You don't want to choke the pick because you'll get stuck in the strings while you're working on this. So when you're playing the double strum or the single strum, you're always going to start with a down, hitting the strings on a down. And you want to swing wide. You want to start the strum high for now and hit all 6 strings and come low. You're going to keep the pick, the wrist nice and hanging from your wrist like a pendulum. And you want to get a floppy, sloppy feel with that right hand. I call this the campfire strum. It's a sloppy, sloppy feel. And I want you to think more about feel than having it sound good or missing notes right now. I want you to think about that floppy feel with the right hand. So the single strum is when you're just missing the up when you're doing a double strum. So here's your double strum once again, down, up, down, up. The single strum, you're just going to miss on the up. So down, miss, down, miss, down, miss, down, miss, and go slowly. I have a tendency to show too quickly, so demonstrate too quickly. So slow down. Here's your double strum, keeping the pick nice and loose. Single strum, just miss on the up. Here's what it would sound like if you were playing it with chords. Here would be the single. And here's the double strum. And keeping that wrist nice and lubricated and moving freely, hanging from your wrist, is the way you should be thinking about beginning to understand and exercise your right hand for strumming and single strumming. In my next clip, I'm going to demonstrate single picking. So in this clip, I'm going to demonstrate single picking, and for that, you don't need to mute the strings. So first of all, I need to explain the number of the strings: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 is the thinnest, and 6 is the thickest string. The exercise I'm going to show you is called 8 times, 4 times, 2 times, 1 time, and it's a picking exercise. You're going to hold the pick like you would strumming between your index finger and your thumb. And you're going to start with 8 times on each string. I'm going to start 4 times for time's sake. And I'm going to pick 4 times, Keeping the pick loose in my fingers. Go slowly. This is not a race. Go slowly, take your time. I'm probably going a little too fast. Slow down. And you'll notice that I'm coming from underneath. It's hard to tell this way, but if you see this angle, you can see that I'm coming from underneath the string, up and out, and I'm starting a little bit above the string, and keeping that palms down, my palms down towards the floor angle as opposed to palms up. And that gives me a nice spring in my wrist, but it also gets me out of the way of the string above it that I don't want to be hitting. Good. So you'll start off doing that 8 times. I just did 4 times. You'll do 4 times, 2 times, and you'll end with 1 time like this. And you want to bring your hand with your arm as you go to keep the angle of your pick consistent as you pick. You don't want to start reaching for the pick like this. Use your arm to bring your hand where it needs to be. So you should be working on this exercise for a few days, if not a week. I would get strong with what you're doing here before we move on and add them together. So once again, this is single picking. Keep the pick loose. And you should be working on this 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day. Maybe put the guitar down and come back and do the 8 times, 4 times, 2 times, 1 time exercise again. So this concludes lesson number 3, single picking, double strumming, and strumming. I would recommend that you spend at least 15 minutes a day working on this lesson. One thing I didn't mention that's very important in the last clip, and that is when you're single picking or strumming or playing in general, never hold on to your guitar with your finger or having your palm on the bridge of the guitar. That's equivalent to swimming with a brick on your foot. You want to develop a sense of freedom with your right hand, and you'll be able to do everything you think you can do better by holding on. You'll be able to do it better by following the examples that I'm giving you in these lessons. So don't ever hold on with your pinky or your wrist. My name is Michael Geddes. Hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you at lesson number 4, and we'll begin working on the left hand and showing the left hand its job and strengthening the left hand. And the lesson after that, we'll begin putting them together. Thank you for being here today.